My name is Mark Fetherston. I'm a designer for Mercedes. I've worked in Mercedes for 11 years and I always like cars. I'm very passionate about cars, liked art, and I combined the two and discovered that you could actually become a car designer, that job exists. I studied for 4 years in Coventry as a car designer, did my degree show, and when Mercedes gave me the chance, I thought, yes please, thank you very much. The first production car that I worked on was the B class. Then I worked on almost a whole range of cars at some point or another I've been involved in, and now luckily enough I had the chance to work on the SLS, and that was let's say a very special opportunity, a privilege. I was in the right place at the right time and I got the chance to work on it, so this was a very special project for me. What's really important for the car is that we have good proportions. We have this very long bonnet, we have a long wheelbase, very dominant shoulder line, cockpit quite far back in the car, upright screen. What's important is this area is that the cockpit looks like it's sat on the car. It's almost a separate volume sat on the car, and that relates a little bit to the previous cars. At the same time, it gives this sort of aircraft-inspired canopy just to get that freshness in design, respect for what we've done in the past, still come up with something new and make that design have the quality that it's long lasting, and in 2030's time it still looks fresh. And for me, that was almost less is more with the design. What elements can I put on the car without making it overcomplicated, without making it too trendy, and at the same time keeping it interesting and entertaining enough for people to look at. But for me as a designer, what I wanted was to fight for, or to push for this cleanliness, for purity, and that was to try and get every line lining up. So from the back of the car to the rear wing, front bumper and headlight, it's all one line, and that was a challenge in itself, and that's something that people might not necessarily notice at first, but as a designer I really fought hard for that. That was weeks of trying to convince the engineers to provide us with solutions. It's a really interesting piece of design and a really interesting product because it fulfills criteria that make it fit in with many different occasions. You can go to a racetrack with a car and you'll certainly be one of the quickest cars on the racetrack. It is really focused. You can drive the car just for the pleasure of hearing the engine because it's got so much character. It's loud, but loud in a tasteful way. It's a really, you know the car means business. At the same time, you could see this car in a museum because it is a piece of sculpture. It is really sculpture. We have a lot of shape in the car and very resolved volumes, which we can't achieve on every car through limitations of cost and package. But this itself was very much a free sculpture. So yeah, for me it's beauty in the beast. It really is. And specifically for this car, I really looked at lots and lots of images of aeroplanes, of fighter jets for the canopy feeling, the sort of canopy which sits on the body, the volume, like the fuselage of an aircraft, and then the air intakes at the front, and nature as well, and nature's incredibly inspiring. Sharks, cats, it's the animals which have got an appealing aesthetic we often look at in our cars.